Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, although it doesn't feel like a brand new video because I've had to sit here and talk about the lack of drive, the lack of urgency and the lack of quality that slowly but surely seeped into that game of football and killed the game's momentum, doing to an absolute crawl, fizzling the game out to just be handed over and played right in to the hands of Motherwell. I've seen that performance several times now this season, and unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, even Flag Day couldn't keep it from creeping into this one. That's right, people, even this monumental, emotional day, which is Flag Day for us, the fans, with our families, etc., everyone associated with this football club and the players who went ahead and delivered it, even this monumental day wasn't enough to G up these players to last longer than 52, 53 minutes of a 97-minute game of football, and that, for me, is absolutely infuriating. Now, right off the bat, I'm not throwing my toys at the pram or anything like that and abandoning ship and saying this needs to be done or this needs to be done, because I can think of last season and I saw an awful display away at Hamilton when we drew 1 each. I saw a very disappointing draw at Easter Road where we drew 2-2, and I saw a putrid game of football at the Tony Macaroni in which we drew 0-0. All games we were able to rebound with, take our licks, take all the noise and come back and bounce back, and I think we will do that again today. But for me, I still need to sit here and reflect on the game of football that I saw, and the game of football that I'm here to talk about is Rangers 1, Motherwell 1, where if you saw yesterday's preview video, if you're one of the legends who sits there and watches me talk about a game of football, even though I didn't really care much about football, you could have skipped today's game, because every little thing we talked about in that preview video from a Motherwell's perspective of how they were going to play, how they were going to approach the game, and how they wanted Rangers to play in this game. We've done it. Tick, tick, tick. And they've done what they've done all season long, get their one chance and put the chance into the back of net. Because if you look at the stats in these games, you will see 27 shots for Rangers, 7 on target. You will see 5 shots for Motherwell, 1 on target, but the only thing that matters is put the ball into the back of net. It doesn't matter how nice you pass it or what your possession stats are or how many skill moves you can do or how many nice little one touches you can almost do before putting the ball in. It's about putting the ball into the back of net, ladies and gentlemen, and we're no doing it to the standard that we've came to expect under Gerrard, and again it came back to bite us in the you-know-whatski today. So ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fair to say I am very frustrated and very infuriated about that game of football. There's certainly frustrations in the plump bags tonight, but again, as I've tried to say throughout that long-winded conversation, these games happen, and unfortunately it happened on the day that I really didn't want it to happen, on Flag Day. But we're going to go through and we're going to talk about the game of football, so if you do stick through, you will see a sharp decline in Rangers in the second half, and it's that decline we're going to focus on and speak about the longer the video goes on. But let's talk about the start of the game then, shall we? And I'll be honest with you, I was surprised to see Jack Simpson in instead of Balogun, and I think when you look back into the game of football, that may have been a mistake, but hindsight is a wonderful thing, etc, etc. Let's talk about the start of this game, because it was bright, and for me, Connor Goldson was outstanding pretty much the entire game, if I'm honest with you, and he started off the game on fire. Sharp penetrating passes. His long ball was the first highlight in the game just 3 minutes in, where Scotty Wright takes a first touch. He's 1v1 with the goalkeeper. It's a terrible finish as he lifts it over and goes on to the top of the net. That was a real chance to really make today absolutely sensational. And the moment we talked about was going to come in this game for Scott Wright came, but unfortunately he didn't take it. It might be one of those things where the chance comes too early, etc, etc, but we did say we'd get one and we were hoping he'd take it, but he didn't in this occasion. But where that was on almost, Motherwell even got closer than that just 7 minutes later in the game of football, where it's route one, it's elementary, it's literally a long ball from the goalkeeper, and somehow it beats our entire team and it goes in behind, and then Tony Watt originally turns and tries to go around Alan McGregor. McGregor makes such a vital touch because he only touches it a little bit, but it just turns Tony Watt a little bit wide, and then Connor Goldson comes out of nowhere with a truly phenomenal bit of defending, because that is brilliant. Because even though McGregor's done enough to push him just a little bit wide, I think Watt's still going to score there if Connor Goldson hasn't came in there sort of covered for Simpson because I believe Watt actually runs away for Simpson, but Goldton's there, brilliant challenge, and from there we end up springing it right back up to the park. It was like a basketball game, generally one punt up the park, they nearly score. From that brilliant challenge from Goldton, we go forward. It eventually goes to Sakala, whose shot was phenomenally saved by Kelly, and then upsets the corner kick. Wonderful delivery from Tavernier. We flick on from Joe Aribo, and Sakala beats Stephen O'Donnell to hit it in to the back of net. I'm thinking, what a crazy 65 seconds that was, ladies and gentlemen. Faye nearly gone behind to take in the lead. Now, yes, when you see the highlights back at halftime, it does show Sakala slightly offside. But we're going to talk about several incidences in this game that the referee just got flat out wrong, and that was one of them in this game. But before we do get to speaking about referees, etc, etc, there is more gorgeous football to talk about with Rangers that I'd honestly be a lot more infused and everything like that. I'd be sitting here doing one-liners about if we hadn't gone and done what we done in the second half. But genuinely, I'm skipping over about 20 minutes of real quality high attacking football where there was good integrate passing, there was good movement inside the box, but the most infuriating thing was the lack a finishing ability, like for whether it dropped to Scott Wright, who was just like softly kissing it back to Stephen Kelly, when it was going to Joe Aribo, who was taking 75 touches before unleashing the shot, if it was going to Glenn Kamara, who passes were ending up being from shots, etc, etc. There was all these, oh my god, this is going to be a highlight reel, but we didn't put the ball in the back of the mixer. The closest we actually came in the 21st minute of this game, where Sakala comes and picks the ball up, wins the ball back, he combines with Tavernier, he takes it on the left hand side, he hits it under Kelly, it's gone in, but the Motherwell defender, I can't think which one it actually was, but he ends up clearing it off the line. But that's as close as to a second we came in the first half, despite a lot of pretty football on the eye. And that phrasing pretty on the eye actually gives me the perfect transition into the next talking point, because we had the exact opposite, the genuine other side of the coin, because the ball kind of drops to Van Veen inside the box, and he's been great for Motherwell this season, but this isn't a good moment that you want to see because it's a clear dive. I think he can actually get a shot away, but he goes for the dive instead, and to be fair to the referee, he does get this one spot on, and it's a clear dive and he books Van Veen. Then a couple of minutes later, Motherwell have another penalty shout. It was one of those games, and we talked about that yesterday, whenever there was a ball, whenever there was contact, they were going to go down and try and win free kicks, and Tony Watt has one. As the ball kind of comes towards the back sort of post, the ball's bouncing away. Tony Watt originally takes a heavy touch and the ball's gone out, but Kamaru takes a kind of wild swing and he does collide with Tony Watt. I think he touches him in the bum or something like that, like genuinely just collides and kisses him. Not kisses him, I don't know what phrasing I was using there, but it kind of grazes him, I should say, with his foot on his bum, and then Tony Watt kind of goes down wanting a penalty kick. Now again, it is one of the ones that if the ball, I think, staying in play, I think there could be a penalty for that, and it probably would have been, but I think the fact that Tony Watts took a heavy touch and the ball's gone away before Kamaru makes contact with him kind of makes the job easier for the referee. That's how I see it, but I'm a Rangers fan, you can feel free to shout at me, but for me, you're never getting a penalty with that because Tony Watts took the heavy touch and the ball is gone out anyway. But before any non-Rangers fans get ready to scream conspiracy and say the referees helped Rangers in this game of football, let's remember the 45th minute of this game where a wonderful ball comes in from Joe Aribo. Tavernier headers it, it looks like it's gone on target, and it hits the Motherwell defender right there. Stonewall penalty, and if you go back to Fir Park last season, the exact same thing, the exact same player was given, but this time it wasn't, so Rangers should have had a penalty in that one. I don't know if the referee was trying to even up or whatever throughout the game, but he missed that one. Stone cold handball, should have been a penalty, but we go in 1-0. Still though, I'm going to be honest, I was very positive half time. In fact, even in my notes that I took down and everything like that in the game, I went, this is more like it, this is what we've came to expect from last season. Roll on the second half. Aye, don't I feel like I did? Because despite a couple of half opportunities in the 47th, the 49th and the 51st minute of this game, none of them was actually clear shots on effort. We worked ourselves into position. Again, we played some beautiful football and everything like that, but it's no FIFA Street. It's football, and you actually need to put the ball in the mix, and you need to actually have a shot with a bit of power and a bit of placement, not just kind of tapping it straight at the goalkeeper. So there was some lovely build-up, but dreadful finishing. And now it's time to turn to where the game changed on its head. And again, very similar to the way we took the lead in this game. With Motherwell having a major opportunity, they probably should have scored. We end up scoring. It was the exact opposite, because in the 64th minute, we have a fantastic breakaway opportunity. Stephen Davis does well originally to go block the ball at the edge of Motherwell set piece. He continues his run. Joe Rebo finds him with a beautiful ball, and that 36-year-old picks the ball up at the halfway, charges into the box. We have Sakala here, we have Kamara here, we have one player here, and unfortunately, despite doing everything right to the final product, Stephen Davis overhits his pass when he's got one here to finish this game. Because Motherwell from there hit a long ball up to, I think, Van Veen. He brings it down, he does a nice wee combination play, and it ends up going with O'Hara, who's just able to skip into the box and skip beyond Jack Simpson, who doesn't put a challenge in at all. He can absolutely nail him there and send him for a pie, and that's what he should be doing, but he doesn't. He puts his hands up like that, lets him skip into the box. Now Connor Goldson does brilliant here, because he's trying to catch him with a run, not give away a penalty kick, and he does enough just to take the ball away before O'Hara can probably score in this game, and he kicks it back. It does a nice little interception, but then the ball falls to Motherwell, who again, just like Leon, have gambled people forward and outnumber us in our own box. We've not got runners, there's nobody in the midfield tracking anybody. Barisic is far too far away for his man, nowhere near it, and the guy's got a simple tap in, 6 yard out. Ibrox, 65th minute of this game. It's genuinely unforgivable defending, and how many times have I said that this season for the record-breaking defence last year. Now I know Jack Simpson done some very good defending in the 75th minute, and I do feel that's important to mention, because O'Donnell turns away from Glenn Kamara. Kamara Roof gets slapped to the side, and it's actually Jack Simpson's phenomenal block that stops, I think, a shot for reaching on target to McGregor. So it is important to mention the positives with the negatives, and from that challenge it allowed us to make some changes. We brought on Alfredo Morelos with 15 minutes to go, and we brought on Bacuna. That's right, the guy who's been brought into the football club to unlock defences. We give him 15 minutes when the game's flat and it's buried. Now, to be fair to the lad, he certainly tried to inject a wee bit of sun, and you can see little glimpses. He had one where he just kind of dropped the shoulder and had a shot from range. That's very welcomed in this Rangers midfield, and we could have done with that 15-20 minutes before, when we were actually dominant and creating opportunities. But the last chance of the game came right 5 minutes or so from the death, where we get the ball from Connor Goldson. Of course it is. I mean, if we look at our midfield and we look at our attack, I genuinely think if you look at the player who made the most forward passes, it's Connor Goldson. And he splits the Motherwell midfield with a great ball to Joe Rebo, who opens the body up, and eventually, after 3 or 4 hesitations, he shoots. And when the luck's against you, the luck's against you, because the man who stops if you're hitting the back of net is Alfredo Morelos' arse, and it's offside. But even in that, we had 6 minutes added time. Do you know how many shots we had in the last 6 minutes of this game? 0, because we kept giving away stupid fouls and everything like that. And that was the final whistle, ladies and gentlemen. It finished 1-1 between the two most informed sides in the SPFL. But if you'd have told me that after 45 minutes, I genuinely wouldn't have believed you. But you've seen my thoughts, you've heard my opinions. For me, the man of the match was by far Connor Goldson, both gone forward and a couple of things that he done defensively. We just needed more for the midfield again. And I don't know how many times I've had to say that so far this season. But chances go begging, and if you're no clinical, you will get punished. And that was a wee reminder of that today. So you've heard my opinion. What about you? Let me know down there in the old comment section below. Until next time, I'll see you on Tuesday for the preview. All the best, and bye-bye.